Welcome to Zag Episode 3, Part 2. Such a big episode, we had to make 2 episodes of our podcast about it. I don't like the fact that we don't know yet. Even at the end of the episode, we don't know if it's a time machine.
No, you're right.
Or if it's a interdimensional device, which I don't really understand the difference. If you could explain that, would be great.
Well, because here's the thing. Here's the theory that I've been working on, and we were going back and forth. We were kind of emailing, back and forth, Gmailing. A little. Well, I guess you have Yahoo, but
I have Hotmail.
Oh, that's right. Well, I send it to your old Yahoo, and it forwards to your Hotmail.
Right.
Regardless, we're emailing back and forth, and my theory right now is it's both, because anytime you use a time machine, you open an alternate timeline, which is an alternate dimension that runs parallel.
No,
I'm
going to have to stop you, Johnny. And here's
Okay.
why.
Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, the listeners, I'm sure, understand.
Even though I'm smarter and cooler than you.
That was
I know,
one
I'm
guy.
joking,
One
I'm
guy.
joking.
All right, yeah.
Obviously,
but,
I'm
if
joking.
we talk about Back to the Future, okay, Marty McGiff goes back.
Fly.
What?
Isn't it Marty McFly?
No, it's Marty McGiff. He goes back in
Giff
time.
Tannen.
Maybe. He goes back in time.
Mm-hmm.
And can affect the future. If he was in a different dimension, he couldn't do that. So he goes back in time to the past, right?
Yeah.
Interdimensional to me means going even across time. Like this same date, but on a different dimension, where I'm the Queen of England, which I had a dream about last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was Queen of England, and Al was the dead king.
So you had well, we'll talk about.
Yep.
I do want to hear about this dream.
Oh, of course.
But but here's my theory.
Yeah.
All right, picture this. We go back in time to Queen of England times,
right?
Back when they had a queen or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have one now. Actually.
No. I mean, like a queen.
Yeah, they have a queen right now, Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, that's like Shakespeare's time.
No, right now, if you went to London,
they have a president.
No, they have a prime minister, but they have a queen as well.
How do they have a minister?
It's a prime
separation
minister.
Of church and state.
It's a prime minister, and they don't have separation of church and state. The queen is also the head of the church in England.
This is from your dream. This is not.
You know what? It might be.
We'll look it up. Who knows? It's England. They're doing crazy.
Kiss it up to God is what I say.
Always. Anyway, so if we went back to olden times, olden days times,
like Shakespearean England,
and then when we did that, we did things that were different.
Change things.
Kill Shakespeare or whatever.
Oh, why? That's ridiculous, Johnny.
Fine, kill, the queen.
Okay, that's
whatever, right?
Offensive as well. Go ahead.
To the queen.
Yeah, right.
Who cares? She's doing fine. Plus, she's dead already. It's old times.
Got it.
What happens is our timeline continues.
But it changes.
But when we change it, rather than changing our timeline, we create a new timeline entirely.
I don't think so.
Well, this is where our theories.
If you look at Back to the Future,
I'm saying this is where our theories. We have different beliefs.
When he goes to the back and he messes up and he takes the magazine that tells you who wins the World Series, and then he comes to the fort. Guess who's in charge?
Yeah, I know.
Biff.
Giff.
No, that's Giff. Biff. Biff is the bully.
Marty McBiff?
No,
Biff.
Marty McGiff is the one who goes back. The guy who's in charge then is Biff. The mean
bully,
guy.
Right.
Because things got changed.
Right,
Everything roller coaster.
What you're doing is you're lifting. You're being a little presumptuous.
I don't believe that's true.
You're lifting the scientific beliefs of Back to the Future.
Right, which is
by the way,
based on science.
It's non-canonical in the Zag timeline. It's a totally separate timeline. So you can't. You're crossing. You're extrapolating.
Let's move on.
Okay.
I find you infuriating right now.
I understand.
And I don't want to talk any more about it until we can get some scripts from Back to the Future and find out what happened.
All right. Okay. We'll drop.
All right.
We'll get back to the show.
All right. So for our purposes today, let's just say it's either a time machine, like I explained it, or some really messed up thing the way you think.
Okay.
I mean, that's the best way to move forward.
Fine. That seems okay. For now, yes. Okay. So They talk about the device.
Right, the device.
Let's get back to Zag.
Okay, Zag, the
That's our
device.
shared...
Yes, that's
you love
our...
Zag.
I love it. You love it.
I love Zag.
Right.
Our listeners love Zag. Let's talk about Zag.
Let's talk about Zag.
So we see the school. We see a lot of work at the school. We go... Okay, the moment that's really critical, because they talk about the device a lot, but the moment that's really critical to me is when they are in the school and they pan over to the shed.
Right.
And that is where we catch up a little bit on
Right.
Bobby and the janitor.
That's when we know that this is actually in the future, when the long-haired janitor is there.
And and this to me feels like it's right after the whole event that we saw when they were chasing him.
Oh, yes, yeah, right.
Because, which to me is like, why is he loose now?
I think the implication that I got was that, remember, when they pinned him down and Bobby's there, one by one, Bobby taps the other people holding him down on the shoulder, and they get up, they defer to Bobby. It's as like, if in this time that has passed, Bobby has taken a position of power.
Yeah.
And then he is let go in Bobby's, what do they call it? What is it? When I got out of jail last month, they said I could go home in the something of Al.
The care.
Not the care, but under the supervision of.
The auspices.
No, that's not the word. It was auspices. Like, all right, we'll say auspices for now. So anyway, the janitor is let go in the auspices of Bobby.
Sure.
So Bobby clearly in a state of some sort of power.
Yeah, but he's also in a state of distress because he's sobbing.
Yes.
Well,
you know
weeping.
what? The president cries a lot.
That's true.
And he's in power.
That's why their hair goes so white.
That's why they go gray in like 8 years. Done.
Except for Trump, probably.
Oh, his hair will go black, I guess. It's starting out orange. I don't know.
Who knows?
Orange is the new black. Oh, that's funny.
I love that show.
I do too.
But different, again.
Yeah.
Non-canonical. So.
But there is a Crazy Eyes in this too. I don't know if you noticed.
There's just that guy.
No, it's the actress. It's the same actress. I guess she's just double dipping.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Una Bobo. And she shows up in the background in one of the scenes, and she just keeps going like, vanilla swirl, something about a swirl.
Oh, during that whole crazy,
swirl.
that whole thing where everybody's just coming out at the end of the day.
Yes, and
that was so weird. I wasn't even
It
paying
was
attention.
weird. Not only that, but there was George from Seinfeld was in that group.
Was that actually him? Because I didn't want to look it up. You know I don't look anything up.
You don't want to look up anything up.
But I looked a hell of a lot like Jason Alexander.
It was him.
That's
Look at the credits.
I guess because he's in a lot of it.
Yeah, but in the background, he never a line, just always in the background.
I know, but
it's almost like he's doing it for sport. He's got to have millions of dollars.
I think he's going to play a big role in season 2 because you see him with that apron.
Oh, with the apron, it has chili peppers all over it.
Yeah, and I think he's
which is like
involved.
weird because like Al got me one of those. Just it has an apron with chili peppers on it. I don't know if he picked it out or if his nurse did. I don't know.
She's
a little bit.
I'm not going to say it on the air.
Well, she steals. She's stolen a lot. She has. We should talk about the prenup when we're not on the air.
I know, because we haven't seen each other for a while. So
I know, but Al wants me to sign this prenup. We're already married.
Does he?
And not only that, he's only got $15,000. He's only got $15,000 in the bank. It's not worth a prenup. Well, his nurse said he did.
That's what I'm worried about. This woman.
She said that he communicates with her on a letter board. He points things out. I don't know. His hands are strong.
Where is she from? She's like from Manitoba. You can't trust the
I
Canadians.
don't know. Well, the Canadians are shifty, and
historically they've always been.
Yeah. And I can't understand half the words she's saying. She's like, "Do you want this? A boat? 8 o'clock?" I'm like,
I don't want a boat.
He can't hear you. Write it down.
Yeah.
And no, he's not going to eat a boat. He can't even chew.
No, he really.
So put it in the tube and get it done.
Anyway, so we will touch base because
we need to catch up. Yeah, I'm suspicious.
Anyway, so
she's not listening.
There's Jason Alexander. There's all those kind of weird background cameos by the gazebo at the end of the school day, and that's when we pan over to the shed that we kind of cross
Mrs. Frizz, that's the one who freaked me out from the Magic School Bus. Mrs. Frizzle. Right. I forgot. Yeah. She takes the kids on the trips.
On the bus.
She's a cartoon character, and she was there.
But
like in a human
live
form.
action.
In a live action
Did they call her Miss Frizzle? I mean, she looked a lot like Miss Frizzle, but...
If it wasn't Miss Frizzle, then I'm a monkey's uncle.
Well, I guess in a way
Or
we're
Bob's
all
your uncle.
monkey's uncle.
No, actually we're
well, you
the
wouldn't
monkeys. We're a monkey's...
They're our uncle.
Yes, we're our monkey's niece.
Well, not we.
I am. Monkey's niece. You're a monkey's nephew.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Well, in your case, maybe just one. Just kidding, Johnny.
I know
just
you're
kidding.
joking.
I'm kidding.
No, you're joking.
I know. I am.
We are doing fine.
Syncopado.
So we pan over to the shed. We see that we pan out, and they have this whole conversation, which reveals so much.
Yeah.
It starts to explain it. A. What does it explain?
It explains that.
There's a phone.
Somebody's. Can you grab that for me? It's probably Al. Oh, what the heck? Let me just check. Hello? Hello? No, she died. I'm sorry. Can I talk to the homeowner? Please.
Get out of here.
Fool.
This is not my first rodeo.
Hello.
So we go to the shed,
right.
And they start to... So we already have been clarified that Dave was working on a device that he wasn't supposed to be working on, and that's what did him in with electricity.
He got electrocuted.
Which seems weird, because it runs on gasoline.
Right, but there was something else was at play. I'm no Tesla, generator. But something happened.
No Elon Musk.
No, I'm no Muskie. No, that's for sure.
No Muskite. Muskox.
Right. I'm not anything like that.
No, we're just monkeys nephews.
Nieces.
So we already learned that, but then in the conversation... So we find out
Dave had done that, and that's what happened.
Now, they're going to call it.
And they refer to him as
Nobody
Cheeks.
says Dave anymore.
No, they don't, because he's been named.
Yeah.
And I think the idea is that once they give you a name, it implies everything you've done has been forgiven.
Yeah.
But this name is not so great.
It's
it's the burden, it's the albatross on your non-existent neck.
Yeah, his legacy is now how cheeky he was.
Is called Cheeky. So they don't even refer to him as who once was Dave. They just say Cheeky. So we know who they're talking about.
Yeah.
We find out that Dave, in fact, Cheeky, stole gasoline.
Yep, from the school.
And that's a rule.
Big one.
Apparently he had sex, but we don't know who with.
With whom?
Right. Or who with.
Yeah.
But we also find out that he built a mechanism, which is not on the list of rules, but they made it clear that it was a known no-no.
Yeah.
So
did he build it? Because this is the gray area.
I don't know if it was the building or the planning.
He was working on it.
But what did he use the gasoline for if he wasn't
done?
Well, I don't think he was done. I think maybe he was using the gasoline to power up a soldering.
But do you remember when the janitor says to Bobby, he knew we would never touch it again.
Right.
And that was like
again.
Which was why I thought, okay, maybe this has been here, and he was fixing it up.
Maybe so like
that's
a repair.
What I thought. Because that was the only real reference, and maybe he was talking about something else. But
I don't think so. I think you're right on that. Yeah, I think that's what he was talking about. And not only that, so we know what Dave did. We know that he's not going to be called Dave anymore. The naming happened.
Cheeks.
He was forgiven, and he was named. He can go back in their memories, but only referred to as Cheeks.
Yeah.
The other thing we find out is what caused the janitor to obviously take off at the end of that funeral. Yeah. And it looks like maybe 10 years have gone by.
Yeah, Bobby's
3 or 4 years.
Older.
He's a lot older, and his hair is down to his butt. That is a long.
And the population of the town is a lot lower.
Yeah, so
even though there's all those babies,
something's happening, and we don't know what that is.
It's a huge leap in time.
Yeah, so there's been a huge leap in time, and we find out what set the janitor running, who, by the way, has another name. They refer to him as.
Well, ironically, David.
David, yeah.
It's like Spanish for David.
Right, but if you think about Michelangelo's David. Yeah. You might have something there, because he looks kind of stoned.
Sculpted.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking stoned.
Oh, well, he also has a great body.
Oh, he's got a great body, too. He's buff. Yeah.
Specimen.
Yeah. And I think he shaves his chest, because there's not any...
I know.
Maybe goes to Randall's. That's it.
Randall's
No extra charge for that.
That's free, Randall.
That was a free one, Randy.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we find out that he has been on the run all this time
with
Carol. Yeah. Carol, who at first glance is a half elf.
She's small.
She's a tiny thing. Tiny.
Some kind of a.
She's a little person.
But she's not. She has a
half melt.
She's got
half.
a little head. All of her is small.
Everything is small. That's
why
almost like
elven.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It appears to me that she is a normally proportioned, dimensional person who'd be completely at home in a community of people of the same size. Like that they would, she would
smaller stuff.
Yeah, it's like she's a scaled down version of person, and she's not human.
No, clearly.
I mean that.
Clearly,
those ears tell you right away.
Her voice, it's like.
Yeah. I thank God they chose to give us subtitles for that.
I know, because even though they went for the Chinese.
For the Chinese, we get nothing, but for this, at least we got not only that. But did you notice the English that's below her words don't match up with like the sounds? Like she'll make like 18 sounds like and the answer is maybe. And you're like, what? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Then another time she'll say like, Uru, and it'll be like, according to what we believe in the alligator. It's on and on and on. You're like, they're not only do they have different words.
Yep.
Their one word can mean a whole lot.
Seriously.
Right.
And we don't know what they are.
Right.
Couple things of note, though.
But the fact that the janitor loves.
Yeah. Well, they do a mind meld. They do a meld.
They do the meld.
With
and
Bobby
that.
there.
And did you notice? I was totally freaked out. But apparently the meld has magical qualities to it. And transformative qualities.
Yep.
Because before the meld, she's that size.
Yep.
After the meld, she's the same size as everyone else.
Right.
And it's like, what happened to the little thing?
But she still speaks.
She still does that talking.
And she has that rat. She's petting that rat.
With the arrows.
Which is so...
weird because she's got to pet around the arrows.
I know, she's kind of on the side.
And then like...
So Bobby and the janitor, David, and the three of them sit in that shed and they talk.
And Carol. But
Carol,
Carol's sent out at one point. And did you notice what she comes back with?
No. What do you mean?
She's sent out of...
She leaves at one time.
She's sent out of the room.
They do their mouth,
so they
which, by the way, is like...
I didn't... you're reading homoerotica into something that was just plain queer.
It was just strange?
No, I mean homo. It was just...
But then isn't that erotic?
If you find that kind of thing erotic, I found it annoying.
Intensely erotic.
Well, that's your thing, Johnny. I found it annoying.
Okay.
Because I'm not... As you know, I believe in Adam and Steve, not Adam and... What's the one?
It was...
I don't remember.
It was Adam and
Eve. Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve.
I believe in Adam and Eve, and not Adam and Steve, right?
That's right.
Right. But then again, who am I to judge? So, Al always says, when he was in the Navy,
right,
after his time in the Army in Germany, he joined the United States Navy.
He's
trying to make up for it. And he said that he had a lot of what he calls close friendships.
Yeah, ships.
Ships. That's what they call it. A ship. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and he was on a submarine, and they call it sub.
He has strong hands, and he kind of grabs some stuff sometimes when I see him. I'll just say that.
He's grabby. The one thing Al is grabby.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said Zurich no more.
Well,
for good reason.
It's been nice with his hand kind of incapacitated recently.
Yeah. Well, it's got that big brace on it.
Go hang
but the thing is, that was. Clearly, in that society, everybody is bisexual, so that's not a big thing.
I guess you're right.
I wasn't comfortable with the age difference between Bobby and him, but, I guess Bobby's a lot older now.
Maybe he still looks really young. He looks good.
He looks young, but I'd say he's 20, and the janitor is maybe 30.
Yeah. So, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about age difference.
Yeah, it's almost like the janitor got younger.
In his time.
In his time away.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe it's the hair.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
You're right. And then they say at the end, once Carol comes back in, but what does she have? Because I don't know. I didn't.
She has the sickle. the sickle.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? That went totally over my head.
Yeah. Remember when she comes in, she's like, we will cut it away. We will cut it away. We will cut away all of our differences.
Right. In her language.
In her language.
But and the janitor, what does the janitor say? We must clean it up. Which is kind of like why he gets his name, maybe.
Exactly.
Kind of he cleans
David
up.
is a cleaning name.
Yeah.
Oh, the janitor. Yeah.
We have to
clean it up.
We have to clean it up.
Clean up the mess we made.
Yeah, that's what he says. And Bobby, they hug. The three of them have
Bobby
that hug.
cries a little bit.
Bobby keeps crying.
Right, and then they all three hold hands and they say, "Now we are one."
Now we are one.
Now we are one. So now you're like, "Oh, okay." It's a Anna kind of Pollyanna. Everything's okay thing. I think I've heard poly as a term, and I think that's what it means. Like Pollyanna, everybody's
Pollyanna.
It's she's a character in a movie, I think, where she was always looking on the bright side and very happy. And I imagine if you have two partners, you would be happy. But I would not be happy if I had two owls. That's for sure.
No.
1 hour is more than enough.
I mean, I did have two partners for a while.
Well, you had Judith and.
Yeah, they didn't know, and that did not make me happy.
That's called cheating, Johnny.
No, I'm aware. We're all aware.
Sorry, Judith. I hope you're not listening.
She knows. We had
of course
that
she knows,
whole...
but she stabbed you.
Yeah, well, that was not necessarily public information.
Well, it's in the court documents.
I know, but it's like everything's in the court documents.
Oh, right.
We could go look at your record,
Yes. Yeah. Well, let's not.
I agree. That would,
Sequester. They let somebody go in the sequester of someone else.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that word. I don't know what that means.
Sequester? That's what it is. Sequester.
Is that like a question?
On your reconnaissance.
On your own
reconnaissance.
Recognizance?
That's what they let me go on. Yep.
Anyway, so Bobby's there. He's sequestering the janitor, David.
Who?
Whatever. I don't know why he has a Spanish name.
Maybe it's not Spanish. Maybe that's how they
all say we are one.
We are now one.
And then all of a sudden, right at the end of that episode, that arrow comes through, hits the door, and
bounces
Bobby
off.
Yells, Run. And then credits.
Wow. And once again, Phil Collins nails it.
He's flawless.
At the end, I was like, wait, what? Like they have to run again?
I know that Phil Collins has been kind of on talk shows sort of bad-mouthing us recently, but I want him on the show.
I would love to have him on the show, because I'll tell you what, as much as Phil Collins may hate us, I kind of think the first real make-out session I ever had in my life was to one of his songs, so I owe him.
Isn't that true for everybody?
I think of my ilk, yeah. Yeah. Well,
anyway, questions have been answered.
Yeah.
New questions have been raised.
New ones
classic
always.
Zag.
Hello, I'm Zag. Would you like to be confused? I think that's their subtitle. Yeah. Zag, we will confuse you more than we help you out. Yeah. Are you all right? Yeah. You don't look good today, Johnny.
It's been a rough week, actually.
Yeah. Well, I think whenever it comes up to the anniversary of when the stabbing, Judith gets all worked up. And maybe she feels bad. Or maybe she wants to do it again. I'm not sure which.
I'm scared sometimes.
I would not close my eyes when I sleep in that house with the anger.
Girl is so big, she scares me.
Oh, girl, yeah.
She's talking already?
Yeah.
It's a little young. 3. Mm. I mean, the boys aren't talking, obviously.
Well, they won't talk. Not around her.
Yeah.
Nor would I. But I will say this. I think we need to thank one more sponsor.
Yes, we do.
I almost forgot. I feel bad.
We'll never forget. One more sponsor.
One more sponsor. Thank God for the sponsor. Because I think with this sponsorship, we'll be able to maybe pay someone to not have our sound be so throaty or whatever they were accusing you of. I'm sure it's a technical problem.
That was not, from the microphone problem.
Right. So, all right.
Bring it up.
I'll do the promo right now. I think I have the copy here, and it's for Caroline. No, Caroline. I got that name wrong. How do you say that?
With the name of the...
on this paper, what does it say?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Caroline.
I know, I was thinking about I was thinking about Caroline, who just got in the thing.
The hedgehog. No, no.
Right.
Wow. It's
I didn't realize that your hedgehog is the same name of David's wife, right? Carol. Same root word.
It's a shorter.
Right.
Shortened. Anyway, this is carpoline.
Carpoline.
Yeah.
Carpoline's motorhomes when you can't take it anymore. Oh. So you just get a motorhome, and they're rentals for $78.99 a night, except on the Labor Day weekend, and they are $400 a night. And they
Can I
come
tell you
equipped.
something?
Yeah.
This is not to plug carpolines, but when I was stabbed, now it's out there.
Well, everybody knows. Yep.
I rented one, and I took off
for your own safety.
Yeah, I was advised. Legal advice. Legal counsel advised me. Take off. I drove to all the way to Toronto.
Hope you brought your passport.
Well, this
they're
was
also before
I could you just go across.
They don't care.
They didn't care back then.
No.
So I went across the border, stayed a couple nights in Toronto, and then I got ripped off. It was stolen.
Oh right.
That's why I don't.
That was like a
trust.
Wasn't that like a trick gone bad?
It's what it is. It's like, well, yeah, I had that was back during some times. But the point is, Carpolines was there, and yes, I'm still in debt to them.
Right.
Yes, they send me bills every month, but
because it was Labor Day.
It was a lot of money, but
well worth it for your safety.
Yeah, and gotta say, those homes, they're great.
Yeah. Not only that, they have a special, I guess maybe because of you, I don't know. You seem to be our connection to them. But a special deal if you are under a protective order.
Yeah.
You can get 50% off your first night.
Yeah.
So if the court declares you are either not allowed to be near someone or someone else is not allowed to be near you, you can get 50% off your first night.
And that is more people than you'd think.
That is everyone I know.
It's
frankly,
true.
At some point.
Yeah.
Be careful, Al. Just kidding, honey.
He's not listening. He can't.
No, he can't hear. So,
doesn't have his ears.
Once again, so excited about next week. Do you want to give him a little bit of a sneak preview?
Sneak preview, as I said, we will be talking briefly. We'll have kind of a bonus segment. We'll be talking briefly with some fan fiction creators, innovators, some thinkers, some great thinkers. They have some great ideas, great theories. We'll talk a little bit more about Time Machine. And because I have seen next week's episode,
I have not watched it yet.
It's all there.
Yep.
Because we watch it a week at a time. I will say, we go back in.
Are you kidding me?
Because we just jumped forward a bunch.
Yes,
but now
we're going to go back.
We go back in time.
All right, I look forward to it. And until then, tweet, follow us on Zag with 3 Gs, that's Twitter, at Zag3Gs, and come to our Facebook page.
And for those of you out there, I now have my own separate Twitter account where I do my own kind of...
Really?
Yeah. I think you have one too, right?
No.
Oh, well, those of you out there, it's at JOHNNY Zag Fan Thinker. Jonny Zag Fan Thinker.
Okay.
No underscores, no caps.
I'm going to keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, you can follow.
No, I might as well.
Just those of you who are fans of the podcast, those of you who are fans of Johnny and Jane, those of you who are fans of Johnny, just follow me, and I'll keep you up to date with my own analysis.
Great.
So, yeah, there it is.
All right, so till next week.
Shout out to all you Zagnuts out there.
Hey, Zagnuts.